What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 229 of the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. I'm Mr. Cincinnati, and as always, I am joined by the podcast dad, Choops. How you doing, my friend?
229.
Yeah.
Wow. Did Goldberg's streak ever get to 229?
Depends on who you ask.
Oh, yes. Well, no, I did not think we would get past 5. I think that's been well documented, Mr. Cincinnati. Thank you.
And it will continue to be documented even at episode.
Here we are, though. So happy to be with you. Hey, cheers to whatever's in that mug. I got a nice green tea lemonade.
It is water. I should have gone and grabbed myself a Line and Kugel before we hopped on and got started here, but that's okay. I'll save those for the Thursday night game tonight.
Who's playing?
Pats and the Jets.
All right. I will probably miss that one.
I was gonna say I don't think that I have any fantasy implications in this. Hi, Kyle.
I haven't looked at my fantasy team since Monday, so
yeah, it's this was a bit of a rough week across my 7 leagues, but it's okay. It's okay.
I think I'm 0-2 in the main event league. So
yeah, I'm 0-2 in the head-to-head league against MJB, and I'm not happy about it.
Well, we know who's better, so.
Okay. All
That's
right.
why
Well, anyway, thank you.
And I'm your better half.
Nah, that'd be MJB. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. As always, make sure you're following at Junkies Pod on X for all things Wrestling Junkies Podcast. It's got all the links to our socials. Make sure that you're following us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, subscribe. Holy shit. He's back.
Oh man.
I feel like I just saw a ghost. Yeah. No, actually, you know what? This is an occasion for a drink. I'm grabbing it.
Wow. Well, welcome back, King. Happy to have you back. When do we fire Nick Sirianni? Is it the end of the year? Is it mid-year? What are we doing?
Yeah. Nobody cares. Where the hell you been, bud?
Hey, I'm trying to.
I say that like he can actually hear me and respond like in real time, but it is great to have the King back in the chats. Oh, we love you too, buddy. It's absolutely great to have you watching along tonight. Hope things are going well for you, my friend. I also faced Mr. OTM this week. Battle of the Misters. I mean, we could do that competition as far as the winner or the loser wears the small T-shirt or somebody else's, but let's be honest, I already have the small T-shirts.
Hey, Kyle, have you ordered your merch yet? I think that was a bet for week 1. It's now week 3.
Well, he should do it. He could buy our merch. Wrestling. Yeah. I think he could buy our merch. Or he could support us by going to our friends GorillaPressApparel.BigCartel.com and using promo code WJP2024 for 25% off site-wide. I've been talking to Will a little bit at Gorilla Press, and there are some new developments in the works. Can't wait to share all those with you. Again, if you're a wrestler, promoter, referee, manager, it doesn't matter. If you need merch for your tables, hit them up on X at Gorilla Press APP. They do accept commissions. Make sure you're following our friends at Main Event_net for all things Main Event Wrestling Network. If you want great podcasts, blogs, memes, just great all around entertaining wrestling content, you name it, we got it. So follow us on all social media platforms. And let's see what the King's got to say. Oh, no, that is not the King. It is Mr. OTM.
Not the King. Not a King, not the King. Yeah, I got to decide about this morning. I think you should get a tank top.
You should get a tank top. I think I'm the only one that's bought a tank top.
That's not true. My wife has a tank top.
Nice. All right. I like it.
Probably the same size.
What does that matter? What exactly?
Bazinga.
Is that really whatever? Okay.
Plugs.
Anyway, I know I'm trying to get through to them. Okay. This Friday, September 20th, the Sensei Aaron Wade presents Dojos Rising at the TWE Arena. It's an action-packed event with an unforgettable night of pro wrestling as some of the toughest competitors rise to the occasion. $15 tickets. You don't want to miss this. Again, this is probably one of the best merch stands at any wrestling show, or at least any indie show.
You said merch.
Okay. All right. Okay. I will allow that interruption.
I mean, they had. I'm
so excited. I'm sorry. The King is back in the chats here. I'm a little excited. Okay.
That is why I'm here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
How's your Leinenkugel?
Cheers. It is damn delicious. Okay, I get to have a summer shandy in the middle of fall. What?
I don't know if I've ever had a Leinenkugel.
They're pretty tasty. I mean, this has been one of those days I've been able to have a summer shandy in the middle of September. I went to the pool in red today. Like it's vibes all around, you know.
Boring. I ran over my foot with a cart. 100.
I know you said that. Is it broken?
Let's hope so.
Why? Okay, I don't know why you wish that on yourself. Thank you, Kyle. I agree. Summer Sandy is delicious.
I'll keep it PG, but there's sympathy and a word after that.
You know what? I can't be too mad at that. Before we introduce our guest tonight, again, one more reminder: I do have a conversation with the Sensei Aaron Wade that will be releasing tomorrow morning. I promise is actually coming out. We're going to talk about this show. We're going to be talking about everything Aaron's got coming up through the rest of 2025. So stay tuned for that conversation. Also, do I have some news for you, Podcast Dad?
Hit me.
So remember when Casey Owens last weekend Battle for Sale Creek was going to have an open challenge at for the Sale Creek faculty at a high school pep rally?
Of course I do.
I can confirm that match did take place, and I may or may not be in possession of the footage of that match. Mostly may. Yeah. So I do have that. We will be releasing that tomorrow morning as well. I can't wait to see who answered this challenge, but again, if you have not seen Battle for Sale Creek, check that out on IWTV. Next Thursday, we are proud to sponsor Marcus Mather's All I Want 3 at the H2O Wrestling Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. This event is going to showcase the very best that independent wrestling has to offer, and we are a part of it. We are one of the sponsors. Get your tickets now. Follow ETU Wrestling on X, and you can get all the information as to where to get those tickets. Podcast Dad, it's I think it's about that time to introduce our guests. So are you done? I assume that you are done listening to me, right?
I'm an active listener. I didn't really catch much of what you said, but yeah, let's get it going.
The irony. Anyway, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're thrilled to be joined once again by one of the most dynamic talents in independent wrestling right now. He is the reigning defending Dreamwave champion and Timebomb Pro Wrestling Sanctuary champion. Later this month, he will be putting his Dreamwave title on the line against the electrifying Vikingo. And this weekend, he is set to compete for the Dreamwave Tag Team titles at the Capital City Classic. But that is not all. He is also going to be releasing a 2-disc best of Blu-ray set containing some of his best matches throughout the last year. He's got his eyes set on some big goals for next year, and we're going to hear a little bit more about them. So without further ado, please welcome the one, the only Connor Hopkins to the stage. Connor, what is going on, brother? How are you?
Hey, I am, things are good. Things are great. Thank you for that stellar introduction there. That was fantastic. I wish I could get that everywhere I go.
Just we'll pocket that, we'll record it, and you can have it forever.
Perfect. That's all I need.
That'll work. Yeah, so it's been a while since we've had a chance to catch up with you. Before we kind of dive into what you've got coming up over the next few weeks, tell us what summer had in store for you.
Yeah, so it was a really busy summer. It was all over the place. North Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, the usual, all over the Midwest, but also, a lot of really new and interesting things happening. Steel Cage Warfare at Timebomb Pro was this summer. I don't want to talk too much about it because we lost, but whatever. Then Dreamwave stuff, the Dreamwave Double Shot Weekend was a huge success, as it always is. Yeah, like you mentioned, I'm wrestling Vikingo soon. I released a DVD, Capital City Clash this weekend. Dude, there's a lot going on, man.
Did you just grab the DVD?
I did, yeah. I have it right here.
Show it off. Look at that.
All right, do we want to get into it? All right.
Yes.
I'm out of this, man.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think I got something here. I think that way everybody can take a look at what Mr. Hopkins is referring to. We do have the official cover here. Yeah, we stay prepared here. I mean, again, Dreamwave, Timebomb, St. Louis Anarchy. This is what, a year's worth of matches that you've got on this collection?
Yeah, so it is like that front cover says, about a year of matches. There's some bonus stuff in there as well. But yeah, it is I know it's over 15 matches, and there's like I said, some bonus goodies. There's some promos included in there as well, because I enjoy some of my promo work too. But yeah, a really a broad spectrum of opponents. I really tried to pick a wide array for it. But yeah, I feel like since late spring of last year into this summer, I really came into my own. It feels like there was a lot of strides made for me personally in wrestling. And so I'm a huge fan of DVD sets. I am a huge physical media guy. And so, yeah, being able to put out something like this it's just kind of a personal project of mine that I'm going to share with everyone.
It's awesome. Maybe we'll get there one day. Probably not. Speaking of opponents, you got a big one coming up. Vikingo.
Yeah, man.
He high flying, unpredictable. Some would say just insane.
Yeah.
How are you prepping for this match in his style?
So that's a really great question. And, you are not the first one to ask me that question. Everyone keeps asking me like, oh, Connor, what are you going to do? You don't know lucha. Like, what are you going to do with the best luchador? It's simple, guys. I'm not going to play his game. He's going to play mine. All of the handspring back elbows and ranas and 630s in the world can't save him from getting dumped on his head, Like, it's... I don't know how else to, how am I preparing as Dreamwave champion where he is catching a flight from Mexico all the way up to LaSalle. He is coming to the Knights of Columbus, which is 5 minutes from my house. And then he's going to try all of these acrobatics, all of these aerial stunts. And I'm not going to let him, like, Connor, what are you going to do about the 630? Okay. What is he going to do when I kick him so hard in the back that he loses feeling in his fingers?
That's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
I feel like more people should be asking Vikingo how he's preparing for me,
Vikingo, if you're out there watching.
Yeah, I was going to say, come on.
Let us know the answer to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll learn some
We'd love to have that conversation. Vikingo, if you're out there and hearing a little bit about what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Come on. By all means, I would welcome Vikingo, Come on. I'm not scared of a challenge. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you are defending that championship. How much pride do you have going into this match? Going, hey, he's coming up here, like you said, he's coming to my house. How much pride do you have going into it,
dude? I would be lying if I said it wasn't a huge matter of pride for me. This is truthfully a match that I never expected in my wildest dreams. Like, never did I think that I would be wrestling Vikingo, who, just honestly is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Like, he is the most exciting. He is, like you said, dynamic and aerial and just all of these things. And it's so cool to be able to do that in LaSalle, not have to go internationally to do that, to wrestle international talent. Although my passport did just come in today.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dangerous now. But it's really cool to be put on that level. It's something that I really admired about IWA Mid-South back in the day is like you would have Eric Cannon versus Bryan Danielson. Mm-hmm. You know what? And Cannon beat Danielson at IWA Mid-South because Danielson came into his home territory.
Yep.
And that happened, Yep. It's a point of, like you mentioned, it is a point of pride. It's a personal thing.
For sure.
Like, be able to say that I beat Vikingo is a resume builder like no other.
Yeah. Yeah. And, at this point, it's funny. It's perfect that you mentioned Bryan Danielson because in AEW, he seems to be on the collision course with the one and only Jon Moxley. And I believe a few weeks ago, you had the pleasure of spending some time as an extra at AEW. This is you backstage with Jon Moxley. Tell us about your experience that day with AEW.
Dude, so I've never done extra work before. It was the first time. I found out about it on Monday before Dynamite came to Champaign, Illinois. And so get there, doing all of the things. It is just such a commotion. All of these fantastic wrestlers that I came up, idolizing are there, which was just a trip in and of itself. But yeah, we get sequestered away to film this thing with Mox. Most of the time was spent kicking our asses, but we did get to spend an hour hanging out with Mox. And that dude is intense. He knows exactly what the hell he wants and what he's talking about. He is the real deal. There's a reason why he's one of the best in the world. Marina Shafir. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. Former professional fighter for this organization called the UFC. Yeah. She kicked me in the face, guys. Really hard.
It is called the problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I had
really
problems after that. It was listen, I know I have a big nose. Okay. There's a lot of it. But that boot somehow managed to find just the perfect corner of my face every single time, because we did it 3 times.
Oh, yeah. Good.
And also, it is so weird, or not weird, but it's a really interesting feeling, filming that stuff and seeing the production behind it, because what you don't see behind the camera is, all of the people that are hanging out and, directing these things and helping out. So Renee is there, Claudio might be walking by, Yuta might be there. It was really cool. And it's been really cool to see how that is all developed over the past few weeks, because no one had seen him for months. And then all of a sudden, he's back at AEW. He looks fantastic. He seems just ready to go.
Yeah.
And
what do you think of this character shift that they are kind of bringing him back with? He had the time away and everything was super cryptic for these first few weeks. And then we kind of got everything, at least the motivation for what's to come at All Out as far as turning on Danielson. What do you think of how they have built the story so far?
So by privilege of being backstage for that first segment, I got to listen in on a little bit of Mox's conversation about character ideas and stuff and inspiration. And so it's a really intense character, which we should have known right away. But here is a little piece of news that got picked up a little bit, but no one talked about it. But I'm a movie guy, so I like it. So Mox is basically basing this character off of this movie Romper Stomper, starring Russell Crowe from the early 90s, Australian indie film. It is really intense. It is about these skinheads in Australia. It's some really obscure movie stuff, but I sought it out, and it's a very intense character that he is going for, which, I mean, we saw. He tried to strangle or suffocate Bryan Danielson. So,
you did see that. That was crazy.
I don't think he is setting out with this new character with the intention for a lot of people to like him.
No.
Sure.
I don't think so.
No, they shouldn't.
But I will anyway. I want to go back a little bit though, and talk about. You said your passport just came in.
Yeah.
Do you have any current plans to go anywhere, and what would be kind of on your bucket list, dream list to go?
Yeah. So I was supposed to be in Winnipeg this past weekend, but like I said, that passport didn't come until today. About 5 days too late. So. Winnipeg is one of those. The guys up at WPW have been awesome to be in communication with. They run a really great show. So very excited to be able to go back up there to Canada once again, because it's, once you're up in Fargo, you might as well go all the way up to Canada.
Yeah, I've been to Fargo, but
lovely this time of year.
It's better than Cincinnati at this point. So yeah.
You know what?
We're doing pretty well right now.
It's hot.
It is. It's hot here too, man. But
it could be a lot worse.
But speaking of things being hot, let's see what it. WXW is a promotion over in Germany. Like 16, I'm a sucker for tournaments, so like 16 karat gold is something that is like, bucket list of mine. I would love to get over there. Rev Pro over in England is definitely somewhere that I want to be. And really, it's just a matter of like, I wish Chris Brooks selfishly was still in the UK because those Schadenfreude shows always looked fun when he was doing those. But yeah, man, I honestly, anywhere. I want to make the Dreamwave title a world title. So anywhere that I can go, I will defend that Dreamwave title there. Yeah, it's my campaign as Dreamwave champion.
Yeah, we saw your tweet earlier today. If you want to be in a 2-night tournament, make it to the second night. Matt Griffin, Scott Hensley, if you guys are out there watching tonight's episode, here's a guy that you definitely should talk to about SCI and or Action's future tournament. You won't be disappointed. So I can at least say that I helped you out, and I've made my pitch to them. Chris can back me up on this. SCI is one of the best tournaments here. Why would you go black now? As I'm like, okay. It's all right. Fuck him. Sorry. But yeah, let's talk about this weekend. You've got a tag team title match coming up. At this point, it feels like this is just a gold rush season for you. So tell us about the story behind the Coyotes versus the Hype Capital City Clash this weekend.
Yeah. So at the last Dreamwave show, Hunter Holdcraft was randomly selected to be my open challenge opponent. I made an offer to Hunter because I really like Hunter as a guy. He's fun to be around. I made him an offer. I said, hey, why don't you just kind of freebird the titles over to the Coyotes and we'll let you join. And then we don't have to beat you up. And then he did the right thing, loser. And then, got beat up for it. So I decided since he got a shot at my title, why don't me and my boys get a shot at those titles? So fair's fair. Global Force Wrestling was fantastic. Jeff Jarrett has been great. We're making it happen. And it's going to be another historic. Not only am I the youngest Dreamwave champion in history, but I'm about to be, I believe, the first, I think definitely the first since Christian Rose to be Dreamwave champion and tag team champion. I don't know if he ever did it at the same time.
Well, I mean, if there's one thing that we love around here, it's history being made on the wrestling scene. It's just welcome back. So glad you could join us.
Hey man, sorry, the bat signal was called and Dad had to go down and lay down the law. Sorry about that.
It is why they call you podcast, Dad.
It's a shoot, brother. Yeah. Sorry.
I think in again 229 episodes, I think this is the first time that he's actually had to like leave in the middle of a stream to go lay down the law. So
dude, we're all about making history on this show.
Hey, and you were here for it. Look at that. Look at that. Where were we?
So we just talked about his match coming up this weekend. We've got another pretty exciting event, it looks like here. You got a couple of shows in November that we want to talk a little bit about here. Higher Ground Wrestling Vendetta. Look at that flyer right there, as well as Timebomb Pro's Damaged Goods. So for those in our audience that are not familiar with either of these promotions, tell us a little bit about these events, what people can expect, where they can find all the information, and what your plan is for these shows.
Yeah, so Higher Ground Wrestling is a promotion that runs primarily out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. They used to run in Minnesota as well. But Badger Briggs is their heavyweight champion currently, and I take umbrage with that because Badger, it's a tit for tat thing. Listen, if you come for one of my titles, I'm going to take something from you. And so Badger challenging me once again for my Sanctuary title, trying to get that close to me. So in November, I have an opportunity to take one of their titles. So it's all, it all evens out. It's all copacetic. But a grudge match, a traveling grudge match, which is really rare to see on the indies these days. But selfishly, I think myself and Badger is a really underrated feud happening currently. We've been at odds for over a year now at this point. or almost a year. And then Timebomb Pro, Damaged Goods. So Timebomb Pro, that feud that's where that feud began. Timebomb is mostly out of the Fargo area, but recently in the last year has been, of course, under the guide of me as the Sanctuary champion. They have been really stepping up and getting out of their comfort zone. And so they've run shows in Grand Forks, North Dakota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. They're coming to the world famous Berwyn Eagles Club. So Timebomb is really a promotion that I think more people need to start looking out for, because since day one in the company for them, they have always produced consistently top to bottom fantastic cards and fantastic shows. Timebomb shows are more fun than a lot of shows that I have been to. There's always this chaotic feeling, like you never know what's going to happen, which is hard to get in wrestling these days. But yeah, November 23rd, Berwyn Eagles Club. If y'all are in the Chicagoland area and want to come out and see Timebomb Pro Wrestling, a lot of guys from Minnesota coming down. Also, a lot of new faces to Timebomb coming in. The return of Eye Candy Elliott, for anybody who knows that name. It's a Midwest deep cut. Eye Candy Elliott for all of you Chicago folk listening out there.
Podcast Dad, road trip. What do you say?
Cincy to Chicago ain't that bad.
I can't say no literally on the live stream.
I mean, I know that you can't, but I mean, it's like, come on. And I've yet to take MJB to a wrestling show, so that's another one we got to check off the list here. Yeah, I know. It's yeah.
What the hell's wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with me. All right, it's we got to find something badass to take him to.
And Timebomb Pro will definitely be that thing.
Yeah,
I like where your head's at. I like where your head's at there for sure.
That's on you. I took my wife to SummerSlam.
My wife. SummerSlam, eh?
That was good. I like that. I do have a. Let's get back on track. I do have a serious question because I am a serious podcaster.
Oh, yeah.
And I may have missed this question while I was downstairs laying down the law. But you, as your bio says, are a champion across multiple promotions. How do you balance like the demand of being the champion across multiple promotions, and like how
while
do
chasing other
deal with
people's belts?
Exactly. Like how do you do it? Kind of.
It's something that I've been preparing for, my entire career thus far. I don't want to say, floundered, but, I was a very obscure wrestler up until not too long ago. And so I think just like getting the reps in and having traveled and done all of these things allows me to be able to balance a lot of these different things at once, because like as champion, you got to be on top of the social media. You have to have a look. You have to represent the company well. You have to be a company guy, and so there's a lot that goes into that. But thankfully, I feel like I've kind of prepared myself to do that, and it pays off, You want to ask how I'm doing all of this stuff, like physically, a lot of caffeine. That's
same. I had 3 monsters today. Yeah, I mean, what?
It's a busy day. I had 1 cup of coffee today.
Yeah, well, some of us are working.
Mine's not a volume of caffeine. It is frequency. So I'm not drinking, a lot of caffeine on the average, but it's a consistent drip all throughout the day,
Respect.
I have been nursing this cup of coffee since like 10 a.m.
Isn't it cold?
It is, yeah.
How are you drinking hot coffee that has turned cold?
I am a psychopath.
Well, that makes 2 of us. Not you.
Can't argue with that.
Not you. The working men are talking.
I'm gonna have some tequila about it if you guys are just gonna continue to talk shit. That's That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm not talking shit. I'm spitting facts.
Yeah, well, sometimes your facts sound like shit. Anyway,
I'm all revved up because I had to go be super dad, so I apologize.
oh man. Anyway, what's that?
I said you're next.
I know. I was in the middle. You see how he fucking talks to me?
Family show. Watch your.
Yeah, to get listen. You might have to lay down the law on the dad. You might have to alpha the dad. I think that's what you got to do.
Huh?
Come on.
Well, I'll get somebody to do it for me. Yeah.
Usually, if I have a problem with somebody, I hit them in the head with something, and it usually works for me. So, your results may vary.
Can I borrow one of those belts and just I'll give it right back. Just
again, the working men. Go get your own belt.
I've got a sweet briefcase that makes an awesome sound when you bounce it off of people.
Ooh, yeah.
I would be interested in that. Let's do it. Hit me in the head.
Connor, before we let you go, we're just going to talk a little bit of AEW here. We're about a week out from Dynamite Grand Slam. A couple of points of note. Jon Moxley, Darby Allin going at it. Mox wins. He gets Darby's world title shot. Sounds like they're building towards the inevitable retirement of Bryan Danielson. I know that you had some experience and had some insight into what Mox is doing with this character. Give us your thoughts on how they're building Danielson up to this match, especially because he's going to have Nigel McGuinness, between then and now. Just tell me what you're thinking about AEW in this world title picture.
Oh man. First of all, if you would have told me a year ago, 6 months ago, that we would be potentially getting Nigel McGuinness versus Bryan Danielson again, and that it would be happening this year, truthfully, I wouldn't believe you. Not a bit. That is, we are living out right now like wrestling fantasy, because Bryan Danielson's character has always been, I am the best wrestler to ever exist.
Yep.
And the thing with the night, there's a really, really great video essay on YouTube done by Joseph Montesio. I think I butchered that name. But he does a lot of really great work. There's a video essay about the Nigel and Bryan feud that is themed after the movie Amadeus. Cannot recommend that enough.
Interesting.
Super in-depth about the whole feud. Yeah. It's really good. There's a director's cut that's like an hour and 15 minutes long. But no, man, Nigel is every bit as good as Danielson. Or at least, when they were both rocking and rolling in their prime, Nigel could have been the guy,
Yes.
He could have also made it. And health issues just really screwed him out of it. And it's Nigel's story up until now is one that really, really bummed me out. And to be able to hear, that Oasis song rocking again, I don't know, man. If y'all know me, y'all know that early aughts indie stuff is precisely my shit. And so and you know what? I'm team Nigel. Bryan Danielson. Why'd I call him Daniel Bryan? Bryan Danielson is the greatest wrestler of all time. He's probably my favorite wrestler of all time. I'm going with Nigel on this one. God damn it. Bryan fears Nigel.
I think you made a good point. People forget how good Nigel is because his career was cut short, but that dude was he was right there. I mean, he's right there with Danielson, and I think it would behoove a lot of people to go watch old Ring of Honor and see exactly what Nigel McGuinness is.
Also, plug in the free wrestling on YouTube. AEW actually uploaded a 12-hour best of Nigel McGuinness on YouTube for free.
Yeah.
At this point, there is no reason why people shouldn't be students of the game because there is so much of this stuff widely accessible for free. Oh man, go seek it out, man. Like, there are so many people that I recommend to watch more Nigel because, again, he's Danielson with a different flair. Like, he had it.
Yeah.
You could put him anywhere, and he works.
Yeah.
Well, except for TNA, they messed it up. But that's neither here nor there.
We don't talk about Desmond Wolfe.
He had a great
They
match.
butchered my boy.
Great match with Kurt Angle. I will go to my grave with that. But
that was like they put him with Kurt to be like, okay, look, this guy can wrestle, and then they made him not wrestle the rest of the time.
Yeah. Good job, Eric. Way to bring it down.
I know. Way to go.
Hey, you were on my side like 5 minutes ago, man. Come on. That's okay. I see how it is. You know,
I'm a turncoat, man. You can't trust me. I'm a snake.
Me too.
Yeah.
Nah, you're just a pain in my ass.
Yeah, probably. Plug your DVD again.
Yeah. So Crown Jewel, the rise of Connor Hopkins. I'm not saying best of yet because we don't know what the best is till we're done. You know.
Ooh, I like that.
Big facts.
But yeah, available shortly. Actually, here is a exclusive scoop for y'all. These are retailing for $40 a pop. This first batch is limited to 25. However, now that I have all of the production needed, we'll be able to ship these out kind of on a as needed basis. I've figured out the production stuff enough to be able to do that. I'm also working on digital files for those of you who don't believe in the supremacy of physical media. So you will be able to purchase. I'm also considering bundling it with the actual ISO file of the DVD so you can burn your own DVD if you want it.
I have not heard that term in so long.
Yeah, brother. Dude, I am so far deep into DVD styler. It's not even like
that's amazing. I have not heard burn your own DVD. Man.
Yeah.
I am old. That's hilarious.
But yeah, man. You'll be able to get it shortly. The thing I think is just the reason why you should buy this DVD, apart from like if you enjoy my work, it proves that DIY stuff can still work in wrestling. Like, if you have the know-how and the time, you can do stuff like this. And I don't know. It's really special to me. It's the first one that I put out of many, I hope. Yeah, man. I'm super proud of it. I'm super excited. Shoot me an email if you would like to reserve your copy. chopkins1998@yahoo.com. Put DVD or whatever in the subject line. I've already got like 5 or 6 pre-sold.
There you go.
Yeah, just through the email.
Love it. And you can follow Connor at Connor Hopkins 98 on X and I believe Instagram as well at the same time.
Yes, yeah, that is correct.
Okay. All right.
Good job, Eric.
Thank you. I did something right today in you guys' eyes. Wow. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Also,
cool.
I like to plug the merch site as well. chmerch.com.
Love it. Go and support Connor Hopkins. Connor, thank you so much for joining us once again. It's always great to catch up with you. Stick around for just a little bit as we wrap up here, but thank you to everybody that's been watching tonight. We will be back on Monday with brand new episodes. Guests are TBD. We've got some great shows coming up next week, and we're trying to line up some talent that want to talk about those shows. So Connor, best of luck not only this weekend, but October, November. It seems like you're again a bit of a gold rush this year, and cannot wait to see what you do to end 2024 on a high note. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you're following us at Junkies Pod. And Chris, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask them this, or to ask you this. Hit them with that magic number.
You asked me at the beginning of the show, but it is 1.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I forgot. Sorry, I got distracted because
Active
you left the
listening.
stream to go discipline your kids.
I didn't discipline anybody. I just sternly.
You just came back saying that you laid down the law. Okay, so like that's what's
there's no discipline.
See that's
you're not beating the stern dad allegations, my man.
That's fine. sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Make sure to follow us at Junkies Pod, like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for joining us. For Connor Hopkins, for the Pain in the Ass podcast, Adam, Mr. Cincinnati, has been the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. We'll see you guys on Monday.